you could see the intersection of where we're kind of coming towards. If
Yeah.
you have physical robots, you have, the Elon Musk thing where he's downloading
Mm.
everybody's memory into something. You have all this video of somebody's
Yeah.
personality all into a robot that looks like somebody. In 20 years, we could probably you just resurrected somebody in robotic form, physical form with personality. I mean,
Exactly. Because I mean, you look at how, you know, one, the AI and then the voice simulation now is so good. Who was it? Michael Caine's voice that you can actually buy now. You can
mhm,
actually license, like legally license, which is crazy. And a lot of these voice tools, you only need, I forget, like it's probably only a few seconds, or I don't know what the best is. It like, let's say even a few minutes of voice to actually be able to synthesize that person's voice
yeah,
accurately.
they were able to do that throughout that documentary.
Oh
Is
wow,
sound exactly like the person that was dead just from the recordings
wow,
that they had. So just
wow.
people who were in the room, just like, whoa, this is weird.
And that's, I mean, making them indistinguishable from the real person. It just
Yeah.
got me thinking, like, my dad passed away a few years ago, and I came across a voicemail recently from him. And I
Wow.
hadn't heard his voice since he passed. And it was kind of, it was weirdly, comforting. It was like, wow, that's, because you're deleting like all these voicemails, obviously really old. And it was like suddenly like, oh,
Mhm.
hey, Bryn, like, how you doing? I'm like, wow, that's so, it brought back so much.
Yeah.
And almost I thought, well, I'd be lying if I hadn't thought about almost recreating his nuances just to be able to speak to him again. And even knowing that it's not him, but having
Yeah.
enough of the way he acted, there's comfort there. And I was kind of thinking to myself, how and what would that do to the grieving process? If I had that when he passed, how would it have been different? And I guess it kind of raises the philosophical thought of, well, if the words comfort you and his voice feels real, does it matter if the soul's gone? Like, yes, it does, but to have a conversation and feel like they're there, what does the addition of a soul really mean? It's profound things, and
Yeah.
especially when it comes, I think love is one thing, but grief is the whole other area that you think you're able to touch on things that you feel like you've lost forever.
Yeah. That was somebody quoting somebody. Basically, the seance never has to end. Do we risk trapping people in the past instead of helping them heal? Humans' emotions are part is what makes us human,
Yeah.
but it also is a massive weakness in whatever you do. You could take advantage of people,
Mm.
people who trade, stocks and money on human emotion. They tend to
Mm.
act erratically, and you could capture on somebody like fear, like
Mm.
or greed. It could work in
Yeah.
either way, and that's purely human emotion where you could be taken advantage of.
Yeah.
And so death and grief is absolutely another way in which you can do that, which just continues to isolate people from each other if we continue to do that. I'm curious, in video games, cheat codes let you skip months of grinding to unlock special abilities instantly. Have you ever wished for something similar for your software challenges? What if there's a way to instantly access 20 plus years of specialized expertise instead of developing it all internally? What if you could solve in weeks what might otherwise take months or years? Would you agree that most organizations face a steep learning curve when implementing new software solutions? At my company Impact, we serve as that cheat code for companies looking to transform complex software into intuitive experiences that users love and that drive real business results. Would it be valuable to explore? And how might this work for your specific situation? Visit impact.io for a free strategy session focused on your unique challenges.